Hello, everybody. Brenda Hillard here at Create with Brenda. I can be found at createwithbrenda.com. And let's take away my banner. Here's the card I have for you today. I love this card. So I'll be honest, this In the Wild paper, like it's my colors and all of that, but when I go to use it, it's like I just am so kind of hesitant or baffled by it. But I decided that since we're kind of winding down on the 2020-2022 in colors, and we're winding down on the designer series papers out of the annual catalog, because the catalog flips in May. So it's like, let's start using up these beautiful papers and see what we can create. So I had a card swap that I'm doing, and this is what I came up with, and I wanted to share it with you. So here's the card. And then, of course, my motto, no naked envelopes, right? So let me show you how this beautiful card goes together. I just have to move. I'm going to shove my swap cards over here and get started. So, of course, the paper is from In the Wild, and it's the big cats, and it's got lots of really good, like this reminds me of like Southwest or Aztec print. It's got kind of an animal print. These remind me of like magnolias. I don't know. It's just good paper. And the colors, of course, are the rich, deep, dark earth tones. So that's the paper. The stamp set and dies that I chose to use come from the January through June mini. It's the Artfully Composed bundle, but the stamp set is called Artfully Layered, and the dies are the Tropical Layers dies. So the die that I chose to use for this project is like, I don't know, for lack of better words, I just called it like these fronds, okay? Kind of like a fern in a way. All right. And then the only stamp that I used out of here was the thank you. And the fonts on this are amazing. So check that out. The Artfully Composed Suite in the January through June mini. All right. Our card pieces today. So we have our card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5, score at 4 1/4. So I am just going to match up my edges, and then we'll crease that with the bone folder. I have a piece of crushed curry that measures 3 1/4 by 5.5. I have a piece of designer series paper, and this is that In the Wild, 3 inches by 3.5. Then I have this piece of the designer series paper, and this is 3 inches by 2 inches. Another piece of crushed curry that measures 1 inch by 2.5 inches. A little strip of evening evergreen, 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And then I had die cut the frond out of the soft succulent. So isn't that pretty? Yeah. All right. So let's assemble our card. These go together rather quickly. So, because what I want to do first is I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to be using the thank you from the Artfully Layered stamp set using Cajun Craze. And that comes from the Regals family of colors. I'm going to ink it up, moving it around on my ink pad. And then I'm just going to try to center it the best I can on my crushed curry, giving the ink time to penetrate the paper. So there's our sentiment. I feel like this is a little bit far out. I'm going to try zooming and see if that helps. All right. Then with our 1/2 inch by 4 inch piece of evening evergreen, I'm going to bring in the banners, pick a punch. I'm going to open the punch. When I say open, you see how it's sleek? And then when I move that lever, it opens so that we can punch. And I'm going to hold the punch upside down, and I'm going to put this into the fishtail end and just kind of eyeball it. So as what it does is it gives us that fishtail banner. And now I'm going to do that on the other end. And again, this piece measured 1/2 inch by 4 inches and punch. All right, so there we have our banner piece. And then this other one makes like a bullet end. So this is really a cool punch. And this is in the annual catalog. It's called the Banners Pick a Punch. All right. Okay, I think we're ready to assemble. That's simple. I'm going to bring in our liquid glue. And I'm just going to center that on here. And when I say center, I want this border, the top border, and the sides to be equal. All right, so there's that. I'm just going to, being I'm using liquid glue, run over it with my bone folder. That just helps spread the glue out nice and smooth underneath. I'm going to add some more liquid glue onto this other piece of designer series paper. And again, these will overlap slightly, but I want to get that border equal. Spread out my glue. Our next step is going to be to add the banner. Just want that right here, and that's going to cover up any little measuring error we may have had. Mine actually looked pretty good this time, but all right. And I'm going to take this die cut frond that we did from the Tropical Layers dies. And I'm just going to kind of angle that right like so. And then our little thank you sentiment, I'm going to pop that up on some dimensional. I think I just set my pile of swaps on top of dimensionals, or maybe not. Let's see. I'll just grab a new pack. Nothing more fun. I found one that I used. But a new sheet of dimensionals is always fun. All right, so I'm just going to add some dimensionals to the back of my sentiment. Just like that. And we'll set this up here across our fishtail banner. So we have our little stem from our frond and then our leafy frond up there on the top. Okay, I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back. And then we can center this and it'll go right from the very top edge of the card to the bottom edge of the card. And so you want to look and make sure that these borders are as even as you can get them. Okay. It is quick and easy, isn't it? But it really is a pretty card. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. I'm just going to pick those up and put a few of them right in here. Like so, just to give it a little sparkle. These brushed metallic adhesive dots are pretty awesome. And then I'm going to bring in our linen thread. And I'm going to tie a double bow. So to do that, I just take 2 strands of the linen thread and then tie my bow. Like, oops, I missed it. Let's try one more time. My fingernails don't help anything. There we go. So now I'm just going to pull these back so that it's not a giant bow. I just want a little double bow. And then I can trim my ends. And I'm just going to pick up a glue dot here. And then I'm going to place this right down at the bottom, right by our stem from our frond. So there's our thank you card. Quick, easy, really fun. I do need to give credit to Crafty Al. She was my inspiration. The layout is similar to hers, but not exact. So anyway, thank you, Crafty Al, for your sketch every month, and it inspires me to do great things. All right, you guys, until next time, bye-bye.